In this video, we're going to talk about what business owners should be thinking about when it comes to their lead generation, specifically as it relates to paid advertising and digital marketing. So if you've been running your ads for some time and you're spending a significant amount on these platforms, I'm sure that you've noticed that costs have gone up, especially over time. And in this current economic environment, costs are going up all across the board, as I'm sure that you're seeing. So what are some things that you should be doing when it comes to your paid ads? Obviously, we want to not drop off in terms of new business leads coming in, revenue, and so forth. So how do we add efficiencies without decreasing your outputs and your inputs, really, right? So your revenue generated. Essentially, what you want to do is go in and exclude anything that is discovery based. So you might be running things that are testing, and that's great. But if you're still experimenting, still trying to find new avenues for leads, trying new targeting methods, specifically on Google Ads, you want to just cut that out. What that's going to do is that's going to give you, anywhere from 20 to 50% of your cost savings back. And that's going to add a lot of efficiency and reduce your overall cost per lead, specific to Google Ads. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, you also need to be increasing your revenue per customer. And that is a whole can of worms that I'm not going to get into today, but it's just some things that you want to be thinking about as far as, if we can provide more value here, if we can introduce a continuity program, how can we raise our prices? How can we sell more to the leads that we have? How can we downsell to maximize revenue on every lead that we generate? There's a whole host of strategies, but when you're trying to save money, especially when it relates to marketing, you don't want to toss out the baby with the bathwater. You don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. I have other analogies if you'd like them, but you really want to think about, okay, how do we eliminate what's unproductive? And then how do we increase what we already have? And so if you attack your advertising on both of those fronts, you're going to have a very successful future as well as a very fortified current state of affairs. So it's going to be really hard to pull the rug out from under you if you have cost efficiencies in place and you are working towards raising your average value per lead, per sale, and really maximizing what you have coming in the door. And so when it comes to Google Ads, how can you raise your efficiencies? Well, you have keywords that are running that have never served a conversion, but they spend $100 here, $100 there every month. They're adding up $100. Well, I would bet you have a lot of those. And so if you go in and you cut out all of that discovery spending, these keywords that have never generated a lead, but they maybe someday will, they're very targeted, they're just too low traffic, cut those off. They are denied. So that's going to save you, could be as much as 20% right there. Next, you need to have a proper full audit done to identify any areas of unproductive spending or irrelevant clicks that you're getting. And it's very, very easy to happen, unfortunately, in Google Ads. So Google is a business, they're looking after their best interests at the end of the day. And so there are some things, like even in their recommendations, that are going to cost you money and may not produce for you as you intend for it to do. Another really interesting area is what your average budget is. So if you have a bid strategy that's set to maximize conversions, well, your cost per lead is going to be reflective of what your average budget is. So if you tell Google, I have $1,000 a day and you have it set to maximize conversions, then they're going to do it. They're going to spend your $1,000 and they're going to try to get you as many conversions as they can. So what you want to find out is if you back that down, what you can get your cost per lead to be. Another really efficient method is to introduce a target cost per acquisition. So if you put in a target CPA, you're telling Google exactly how much you want to spend per lead. And usually what happens in that scenario is your lead quality can actually go up in that situation because Google has access to more higher quality inventory to go after leads on your behalf. And so if you have a maximized conversions bid strategy, they're just spending your money and trying to get you as many conversions based on the budget that they have. One interesting thing that's happened to me, so there are bid simulators in Google Ads, and in our bid simulator, we were spending $1,300 a day. And I noticed that if I back that down to $850 a day, my total leads only went down by 1. And so I'm like, wow, that's a lot of unproductive ad spending every single day. And so that was an area where just by reducing the budget by almost $500 was almost pure savings. And so you have those likely in your accounts as well, just lurking there to be found. And so a proper audit is definitely necessary to go and find those cost efficiencies. So I highly recommend that you do that. Hopefully some of the tips in this video have identified some areas where you can peek into your campaigns, but you want to make sure that you're targeting exactly who you want to be. The people clicking are exactly who you want them to be. So you want to look at your search terms report and make sure that you have where your money is being allocated is for relevant searches that you're wanting to show up for, that your budgets are well optimized, and that you're also looking at your back end as well and seeing how can you maximize value, how can you increase sales conversion rates. And as aggressively as you would attack your advertising, you should attack the back end as well in terms of trying to find efficiencies and maximizing profitability. So I hope that these tips are helpful for you. And costs are going up, but they don't have to be in your Google Ads account. There's definitely opportunities to get those down. Make sure you're cutting out any unnecessary spending, any discovery type targeting, and you'll have some immediate cost savings just from that.